to kind of do it all DIY, but as best you possibly can, because that's what we're trying to do. Like, we're not necessarily like shooting our stuff out to labels right now. We're just trying to do everything as professional as we can as a band together. That way, people know that we're serious about this and people take note of it, and we know that we have the ability to do this ourselves, and we don't need support from a label or anything like that.
This is A Band's Life, a video podcast where bands share their experiences so we can all better navigate the music industry. We talk about jobs and touring, relationships, and social media. We're always happy to hear your stories. So if you know any bands, send us an email or drop them in the comments. Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe either on the podcast app that you have or on YouTube, since we have a video podcast on YouTube too. If you guys know any bands that you think would be great for being on the podcast, drop them in the comments or send me an email, anything like that. I know it's been kind of crazy in the last few weeks, everything with Christmas and whatnot. In fact, a couple bands I've tried to get interviews with had some problems with their cameras and whatnot, and so we're trying to fix things so we get those interviews back up. So I had to do a last minute interview, but luckily a band named Goldview actually said, hey, we'd love to do one, like super last minute. Also, I want to let you know, within that whole Cyber Monday thing, I got a new video and audio PC. I'm actually going to do a video about it. I think that everybody should have like something they can do video on, and basically what you would probably need to at least have to be able to do that. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff, and enjoy it. But without further ado, Goldview.
We're Goldview. I'm Newton. I play guitar.
I'm Nathan. I play bass in Goldview.
We're twins.
We're twins. Identical.
Oh, you can tell.
We're identical twins.
I'm Ivan. I play guitar.
I'm Trevor, I sing.
I'm Scotty, and I play the drums.
We are a diverse band of Asian, Mexican, and white. Is that
Straight
appropriate? It is.
From the West.
Diversity, We embrace all kinds of diversities, and that's not even words.
Whole bunch of different genres.
Brain fart. All right, keep
We're-
going. Let's roll.
Everything.
Let's roll.
All right, cool. Hey guys, I want to thank you guys because you guys kind of showed up last minute. Last week I'd said, I want to do these every other week, and the band last week kind of fell through, and a lot of stuff went down. But you guys kind of rescued me last minute, so I want to thank you guys for that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, man. Like, we appreciate it.
Now, the whole point of like the podcast that I wanted to do was like to help bands connect with other bands, to kind of help each other out. There's not a lot of that stuff like that on Facebook or online, so that you guys can learn from each other a little bit about what works and what doesn't work. So I kind of wanted to see how you guys are just surviving in the music industry.
Well, our band's relatively new, so I think our goal right now is just to get a shot in the scene. We've been around, I guess, legitly, about 3 years. Whole story about it, we could go into it later. But, this current, lineup and name's been around, I guess, maybe, a year. For our state of the band, we're, I guess, a local band still. Our end goal is trying to be the biggest band possible. But currently, right now, I don't think we're at the state where we can say, surviving the industry. Because, for most bands, they're a signed band. They've been at it for years. They're making money off record sales and going to shows. And so it's kind of a different perspective. For us, we're just trying to get our start, and I think right now we're a local band. So we're playing shows with bands that tour all around, big tour packages coming in. To answer that, I guess we play the right shows, but also any show that we can get. Recently we played with Youth Fountain on Pure Noise Records. So playing shows like that keeps your name kind of a little hype, and at the same time playing shows with bands from other states touring around, or hitting up bands from other regions, and just building connections in that aspect. And then I don't know, I guess you just keep repeating that and try to use any kind of publicity you can, and in the long run you can get some kind of bigger recognition and get signed. And then in that aspect, you can think about surviving or what to do. I don't know, I can't really answer it in the way I want.
No.
Yeah, I think the best way to do it as a local band right now, though, is to kind of do it all DIY, but as best you possibly can, because that's what we're trying to do. We're not necessarily shooting our stuff out to labels right now. We're just trying to do everything as professional as we can as a band together. That way, people know that we're serious about this, and people take note of it, and we know that we have the ability to do this ourselves, and we don't need support from a label or anything like that.
Yeah,
Not yet.
I mean, like
At
with that question, it's like I feel like there's like multiple versions of it. Like you can variate it, kind of like how's your band surviving in the music industry these days, or like how can your band even get a start? Obviously, everyone's gonna tell you, like social media is everything these days, and so like you would post like almost like daily on Instagram, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's also about like good social media presence.
Yeah.
With that being said, we would work with like video editors, get some high quality music videos. Or like for us, like for such a small local band, there's a lot you can learn. Earlier this year in April, we went over to New Jersey. We're from California, the Bay Area. We recorded with Nick from Man Overboard and Ace from the early November. So I guess like just branching out and just doing something so different might give yourself a different perspective. And with that being said, like Nick and like Ace, they're in like bigger bands. So with their input, it can help us out and kind of like learn new things that we can take in for our band and how to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like you just gotta like grind in all different areas. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you already said a couple of things that some other bands haven't said before. I mean, you kind of trying to go outside the box. You guys said you went Nick from Man Overboard recorded you guys. Like you specifically sought him out.
Yeah. Well, no. So a little history. Like we used to be a band called Reach for Neptune. It's still basically the same band. So Nick, like his studio is called The Lumberyard. He owns it with Ace from the early November.
Yeah.
Around like November 2017, like he chatted the band account on Facebook. He was like, "Yo, I came across your music. Come over to Jersey, make a record." And like I grew up listening to Man Overboard, like one of my favorite bands. Like top 5 for sure. And I was just kind of shocked, kind of stoked. Actually, the notification didn't go through, but like I'm friends with Nick on Facebook just because I added him like years ago.
Yeah.
And I chatted him individually, and he was like, "Yeah, come over to Jersey, make a record." I told everyone in the band about it, and we're like, "Let's go do it." And while we were over there, like we were already talking about like a new name, just because like we went through so many lineup changes in the past like 3 years, and like this lineup's kind of more solidified, and we thought that would be the best. A name where everyone has a say in and feels comfortable, and a little bit more like suiting to our taste.
So that's what Goldview is.
Yeah. So
We are Goldview.
I kind of forgot the question, but
What bands would be a big influence on you guys? You'd say Man Overboard. Are there any other ones that you guys are kind of similar to, or?
It's gonna be a melting pot,
We all listen to different stuff.
We'll all say a little bit. Newton, start with you.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, they're obsessed with Taylor Swift.
Straight up saw her at the Repetition Stadium tour.
All right, here's my end.
Fourth row.
All right, I'll go real quick. So there's a few. Starting out like in 2009, I listened to like Green Day and All Time Low. That like made my love for music start, and then from there, the whole world explodes. Kid in middle school, find your love for music. And I tried starting bands, but it didn't really work out. Jam there and there, bass and guitar, didn't really work out. 2015, I guess I went to see Taylor Swift on the 1989 World Tour, and like just seeing something so big in that spectrum like makes you really think about your life. And so like in terms of like music inspiration to like actually play and go out there and just do it.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, like big for sure. Musical influences like or anything like Newfound Glory, Man Overboard. That's kind of where I am.
Blink, of course.
Blink 182.
182.
We met Tom DeLonge.
MXPX, Nest.
Yeah, you're into a lot of the older.
I love a lot of the older stuff. The movie Life.
Oh, recently, and these guys are
All
going to
that
be
stuff.
shocked. These guys are going to be shocked. Recently, for me, I would say Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters, and Nirvana.
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Right on.
Foo Fighters
Just
are
because of everything, like just his personality, like being humble and like like not losing sight of
He's a
what
cool guy.
Yeah. I grew up
musically, stuff
to
like that.
Let him talk.
Let him talk.
I grew up listening to like 90s alternative stuff, like
Yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins, Steptones. That's the stuff that I got into. Dave Grohl was a big influence for sure and stuff like that. And then like my last years of high school, I got into pop punk and stuff. So
Trevor, what's yours?
I was classically trained in like classic music and worship music when I was a kid. So that was what I grew up with. And then going into like middle school and stuff like that, I got into Red Jump's Apparatus, which was like one of the biggest bands that got me into music. Like wanted to play
Red
that type of
jumpsuit,
style and stuff
red
like that.
jumpsuit, Apple Lattice.
And then later
Apple
on in high
lettuce?
school, I got super into metal. And
Metal.
I still listen to ridiculous amounts
Oh.
of heavy music.
Oh yeah, and we all.
can't tell.
We
That's
definitely
not
all
even
like
a heavy
hardcore.
band. That's not even a band.
We
Okay,
all
all
like
into hardcore.
So down. We all like hardcore,
hardcore
Yeah.
for sure.
But not like poser hardcore. You know what
Yeah.
I
You
mean?
call
Like,
poser hardcore, man.
like listen to like Madball and Hatebreed. That's real. Trap Under Ice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like I guess
Terror.
like punk and hardcore. Like I love hardcore. You know, like Down Presser, Kurohan. You know, Turnstile, Trap Under Ice. You know, we love hardcore. And also for me, like I'm a big fan of punk rock. Like No Effects, Bad Religion. Those are big influences for sure. Like
Sex Pistols.
yeah.
All those bands.
I love 80s rock bands, like 80 rock bands, like
He likes the
U2,
synth.
Journey, like stadium rock bands like Journey. And
Sublime. Hey, I like
Sublime
Sublime.
was
Sublime
great.
is a big influence.
I
on
grew up
me,
listening
for
to
sure.
Sublime for
Grew up
sure.
listening
You
to them.
too.
I mostly just listen to metal.
We can go on all day about
Yeah,
this,
man. Like
I love the blues, man. I love jazz, everything, man. I swear. It's
That's
all good.
That's great because like me coming when I grew up, like I grew up in like that early '90s pop punk era, like right before Dookie came out. That's when I kind of got into stuff like that. And at that time, if you were in a punk band at all, and I grew up around Chicago, if you were in a punk band at all, and you said, "Oh yeah, I like Smashing Pumpkins or anything, or Live or Foo Fighters," like, and I liked all of those at the time. If you said any of that crap, they're like, "Oh, you're a poser," like all that kind of stuff. I'm so glad that is kind of like gone. Like Dave Grohl, who I love also, I remember in one of his interviews or whatever talked about that kind of crap that was going on in Chicago at the time. I think maybe it was even with Steve Albini. It might have been that one when he was talking to him. Like that kind of crap going on. Like, dude, you can love all this stuff and it can influence everything. I love that much. I love that about you guys, and I love that about like pop punk in general or
It's kind of
music
funny,
industry.
like similar concept. Like in more recent times, like like I remember like in 2009, I would be like, All Time Low is my favorite band, and everyone would comment, "Ooh, fangirl band, poser."
Yep.
And then now in 2017, 18, you go to a club and they'll play All Time Low on the radio, and apparently it's in that group of classic songs now, like Dear Maria Count Me In, and I'm just like, I thought people would make fun of them because they were a fangirl band, but like. You're a poser now,
I think it's the same thing with every.
I'm
kind
just,
of music.
I'm kind of joking, but not
There's-
like.
There's bands in like every.
He's
genre
laughing,
like
Totally.
We talk a lot.
That's cool.
Let's go.
Hey everybody, the sponsor of this week's video is me. I know that's lame, but I'm actually starting a label, and I was looking for some new bands. Rock, indie, pop punk. So if you guys are interested, go to nottodayrobot.com and drop all your socials in. So you guys were a band beforehand, but you went through a bunch of different changes. How long have you been in the current setup?
This,
Current setup.
this is like a year.
This lineup?
Well,
Yeah.
everyone except Ivan has been in it for like a year and a half or something like that. With Ivan, it's been like a year.
Yeah, like
It's been about a year.
2017, we've been with this lineup. Everyone's on board.
Mm-hmm.
1 year.
That's cool. I mean, I think Perfect Score, which I did last time, they've only been maybe a little bit more than a year, but they had said they kind of had a hiatus in the middle and got back together. You guys, both you guys and them seem to be doing about on par with each other. It's doing pretty well for only being a year. And I know you guys have talked about earlier, social media and whatnot, that being kind of a bit of a slog. You guys are doing okay on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On
Thank you.
Perfect Score, they're cool. I actually found out about this interview channel because of their video.
Oh, cool.
I'm kind of cool with their singer. I've never met him or her, the band, but we chat, trying to set up shows and stuff like that. So yeah, we know about them. They're cool. They're from Sacramento, which is about 2 hours north of us. We're from the Bay Area, San Francisco. We're from San Jose, Oakland, San Lorenzo.
Not San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose.
Bay Area.
East Bay.
East Bay.
Yeah.
Me, Nathan, and Trevor's from San Jose. Scotty's from San Lorenzo. Ivan's from San Lorenzo, but lives in Oakland now.
I'm from Oakland.
Yeah. Well, Scott,
I was
you
born
moved.
and raised there.
Scotty moved to Livermore.
I just moved to Livermore.
The three of us
which
are
is
from
like-
San Jose. The Sharks.
Yeah.
Even though
Not
we
that
don't
far. It's
watch
30
hockey.
minutes away from,
So
Oakland and shit.
over on the East Coast, I'm talking to people on the East Coast too. For them, Jersey's from it's 30 minutes from Philly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's already a different state. In California, you know how it is. It's a long state on the West Coast. So Sacramento, where Perfect Score's from, that's about 2 hours north of us. So it's we would try to be friends with bands in that region, or so we could play shows together eventually and stuff like that. Branching out. But yeah, those guys are cool.
You should definitely hit them up. They were talking last time about trying to get a little bit more out of the area because it's kind of like an enclosed area there. They're want to kind of reach out a little bit more. Yeah, hit them up and swap some shows with them. I'm sure they'd be interested.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
How do you guys, speaking about shows, like how do you guys like go about booking them? Is the Bay Area kind of like hard to get shows?
You want me to try to change it up, Nathan?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
I can answer this one.
First off, it's not hard at all.
He's very good at it.
I mean,
He's
for
the one
us,
who
like,
makes the show.
there's a few ways. One way is like promoters would just hit us up. There's
Yeah,
like, you know,
it's funny. Most of the time, like we get hit up to get put on shows.
like
and play
promoters
shows.
just hit us up. Like,
Yeah.
we got Pinup Productions, Outer Space Entertainment, Bane shows, which is now called
We're
Hard
like
Time
friends
shows.
with all of them.
Like all the promoters always hit us up. That or like touring bands will go on tour, and then other bands that have been on tour are linked in with them. So they told them about us, and so like touring bands that come through might message us and like say you want to open up or something because they already had a venue locked in, or we would just set up our own. Like for example, we have an EP release show coming out on the 15th because our EP's coming out on the 14th, the day before, and we booked that all by ourselves, and then we just got our friends who is a promoter. We kind of just linked in with him just so he can find a venue, but we kind of did all the booking ourselves.
Yeah, like we know a lot of promoters. Like there's different levels and stuff like that. The Hard Time shows, they put on like bigger bands that come around, like the Rome and like Pacific tour came around, and
We didn't play that.
we didn't play it, but I'm just saying. Let me finish. They put on shows like that kind of level.
Dagger Mouth.
But we yeah. So Daggermouth, you know Daggermouth, right? You know Daggermouth? Yeah. So like the Hard Times put that on, and we got offered to play. I guess how it's like we know this band. They're called Give You Nothing. They're like a Santa Cruz punk rock band, and we go to a lot of like Santa Cruz hardcore punk shows and becoming friends over the years. So like that homie hooked it up, linked us in with them, and that's how we got a show. But then a smaller promoter, like you said, Pinup Productions, they'll put on like a lot of shows too. We play with them. Newer promoters, stuff like that, or like even like DIY punk shows kind of mindset. Like we'll play those. But then recently, like we're friends with this band called Demon and Me. I don't know if you know them, but Demon and Me is like a Sounds A band, and they're making a pretty good name for themselves. We're friends like with their singer, or the whole band actually. So they were on tour with Youth Fountain. They recently signed up Pure Noise, so they were looking for locals for the Sounds A date. So we're like, dude, is it cool we hop on? And they're like, yeah. So that's another way we got a show.
Yeah, a big thing is like networking with a bunch of bands and promoters and people in the
Super
scene.
important.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, like it's a different perspective. Like everyone's like, oh, we need to make friends with all these bands and network and like view it like a political mindset. For me, it's just about like going to shows, supporting like my friends' bands, and like having a good time hanging out, and like just like going to as many shows as possible, and like just hanging out, and then like from going to the shows, like people recognize that, and then like you eventually play shows together, and then just kind of link up, help each other out, like anything helps,
Yeah.
So
Rock and roll.
yeah.
Do you think it's more when people are finding you guys? Do you think it's more like looking on social media, or do you think it's more like word of mouth?
I don't know. Like a lot of bands have hit us up. Like I don't know how
It's
band
like a mix.
a mix.
Yeah, I think it's like linked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably a link. Like band. Like recently, this band called Gold Steps. Is it right?
Yeah,
I forget. It's like so many gold now.
Gold
but
Steps.
Gold Steps. They're from Texas. They're cool.
Guarantee you, it's from.
Zachary. I can't pronounce it, but he's a homie. He hit me up. He's from Texas, and I know about their band because they play the local day of Warped Tour and just like online and stuff like that. So he found out about Goldview, and he's like, "Yo, we're touring. You guys want to play the local date?" And we're like, "Yeah." And then other bands tour from other states, like can't remember, Maryland maybe. Yeah, like something more from Maryland toured like a couple years ago. Hit us up, and I'm not sure how they find us, but probably social media or like other bands, and we'll always like play with them, hook it up, help them out.
I thought they were done. Have a good time.
Young Culture in Belmont.
Oh,
Yeah,
so something
like-
more broke up.
Oh yeah, something more broke up. Oh yeah.
Young culture. Yeah.
Young Culture.
Yeah, Belmont, obviously. They're pretty big. So Pinup Productions, the big local promoter on this area. There's Pinup Productions in SoCal too. What am I talking about? Yeah. So Pinup like asked us to play, and yeah, like we're like down. So, and we love those bands. So
Hey, you guys.
I think a lot of
Young
it,
culture. I like that.
a lot of it is like social media, and through social media is where the word of mouth comes from. I think because we played a house show last month, and a couple people.
Sick show.
It was fun, and a couple people came out, and one of them talked to us. Was like, yeah, you know, like you guys have a pretty decent like social media like output, and that's how I know about you guys, and I came out to see you guys. You know, so it's
Yeah.
But here's what I gotta say. Like,
Well, hold up. To add to that, sorry, we tend to interrupt each other a lot. The whole social media thing, it's important because like even for me, like if bands were to like, you know, come around, they're like, yo, you guys want to play? Well, the first thing I would do is look at their social media, see like if they have a word going or like what they've been about. And I'm sure other people do the same, and like record labels, stuff like that. So just naturally, I think it's like an instinct for everyone to just see like the status of like a certain band or like, you know, where this guy's been around or whatever. Yeah. So I feel like that's important.
I was saying like aside social media, like I don't think it's all about that. Like we go to hella shows, like local shows, big shows. One of the shows we went to was like the early November because Ace like worked on our music, so we're like, all right, when Ace comes around on tour, we're gonna come say what's up. We went to that show and we were promoting our band, like passing out CDs and stuff to people. And then like some guy we passed our CD out to, like he actually got our CD, looked us up, and he came out to a show, and he showed up on the show after we promoted it at that show. So any show you go to, pass out CDs, like it's worth it, you know.
So if I can remember, I think the question was how do we get shows? Is that kind of the same topic? Like like how to get people to come to your
Yeah,
shows?
just how you guys went about getting shows. It's fun.
Yeah. All right.
Getting shows and people coming out.
Yeah, like
Awesomely.
yeah, like we try to do as much as we can. Like we go to shows. Like I said, we go to so many shows, and like every opportunity we get, we try to like get our name out there. Like, you know, like for the early November show, like we know that that's kind of a bigger crowd, like older people, like from the early 2000s. So they're kind of more into CDs than like the younger generation. So we burned some CDs, gave out for free, and then like from that, you know, it starts a conversation. Like a lot of people these days, they'll be like, yeah, you know, CDs are outdated, but you know, they start a conversation, just like simple, like free, here you go. They have something to hold, look at. You talk a little bit about the band. And some of those people at those shows, like, are musicians too. And eventually, like, they followed us on Instagram, and I chatted them, and they came out to a show just because I promoted to them at a real show. And yeah, it's super rad. And in that similar context, online, you could chat so many people. Like, bigger bands will tell you, you know, like, these days, so easy. You can just click a button, and it's true. And we try to use that tool, you know. Like, we chat everyone we can online and be genuine about it. Like, we don't spam people. Like, we send a very small chat if they are down to check out the music. And if they are, we'll send a link. And then we have a little conversation about it. And I feel like that's important too, you know?
Yeah, that's really hard. I actually went through my Facebook messages the other day because I think you guys had messaged me, and I think it went into one of those because Facebook has like a hidden junk mail, and it's hard to get if you don't like. And so every once in a while I'll check it, and you guys were in it. So we're like, people like, I'm like, dude, I want people to be able to contact me, even if it is spam sometimes. You know, like where I'm like, whatever, I'll go through it and I'll get rid of it. And I found, like, I went through it and I was like, man, that was a while ago. I went through it and I was like, man, there's so much stuff in here. I wish I could have talked to these people, even though, like, you know, they're obviously kind of like a little bit spammy, like, hey, come see my show or this or that. Like, we're like, oh, cool, yeah, it'd be nice to be able to talk to people like that. So be a little bit careful with how you word things there, or like it's going to end up in that Facebook spam. How about, do you guys ever do the pay-to-play stuff?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, in this current lineup, I don't think we have.
I don't think we have it.
But
no, we haven't. We
No.
tried to
I have
steer
Stay
away from that.
far away from that.
Yeah, I mean,
I've had background with that crap, and it's terrible.
I mean, I have a different perspective, you know, like if you're such a new band, like when we started, like, you know, 3 years ago with like different people, we played pay to play, and
that's how we met, though.
yeah, like, because like
The Afton
I feel
show.
like it's about understanding how it works. For a lot of new bands, you might do it because you think that's the only way. At the same time, a good perspective, like for example, like up in Sacramento, they used to like allow like local bands to like open up that show. Like our friends in this band called End the Fight, they play with like 4 Years Strong and like Comeback Kid and stuff like that. Like really big bands. Knock Loose.
Sorry, that was
GPS.
my Siri.
Yeah, like, and like they were offered bigger shows, like, you know, 4 Years Strong and Knock Loose, and in order to do that, you would you know, sell tickets. So that's basically pay to play. And so if it's like a big offer like that, I feel like that's really worth it.
Yeah.
In terms of a small promoter, like let's say like this is local promoter hit us up recently. Like some of our friends in other bands have told us that they got ripped off, and those pay to play shows are like totally bad. You know?
To answer the question, we've all done pay-to-play shows, but we haven't done it with this band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not-
I think that question leads on to like, you know, do you support it or not, and like how do you go approach that? You know? But I think it really depends on the kind of promoter, the kind of show, and like how you do it. We can sell easily. Like, this is big venue around our area, like the Catalyst. Like Newfound Glory would go play their headline, and like we easily played that venue. We sold like 60 pre-sale tickets, and we basically pay to play. But and so like it depends like on the deal, you know, if it's worth it.
Generally, I feel like it's kind of sketchy. Like, I'm not really a big fan of pay-to-play type of stuff, so I try to steer. Me personally, I try to steer away from that. I've had bad experiences from it before.
Yeah,
I'm on
same
Ivan's
here.
side with that completely.
Yeah, I know, like, part of me, like, as someone who's, you know, like, I have a business minor, and I understand what they're trying to do. They're kind of trying to offset, you know, problems and money and being able to, like, actually put people in either bars or in concert halls or whatever it is. So I kind of understand it. But yeah, I've heard a lot of horror stories. But the funny thing is, I think on the Perfect Score one, they said that they did a lot of that early on, like what you were saying, and almost like, you know, they kind of had to at a certain point. So I'm always up in the air in it. You know, like I don't feel it's as bad as what like some people like demonize it, and I don't think it's good. You know, at the same time.
I'm open-minded. You know,
it's all different.
I think
it
too,
depends.
It depends on the situation.
That's how I feel.
I think
Depends
if you're a
on the
really
show.
small band and
Get
you
there,
need
bet
some
there.
way to get your
Yeah, I don't
band
wanna
out
get
there and
too
start
late.
Here,
playing
I'll put it like
and
this.
stuff.
All right, I'll put it like this. All right, so in the Bay Area, like the venues in the Bay Area, the venues and promoters are really stingy on letting like locals play. Like, you just can't like for example, I'm using that Perfect Score example just because they're on your channel recently, and like it's a really good example. Like they play with Rome and like Pacific because the Sacramento date allows that. In the Bay Area, put on like by this promoter, it's like, okay, I take it back. I don't want to say stingy. It's just like it's hard, you know. It's like it's already a tour package coming in, stuff like that.
We don't know. You can't say that.
Well, I don't know. Anyway,
You don't know what they're thinking.
what I'm trying to say is that if there was an opportunity for us to open up a bigger show and it requires you to sell pre-sales, you know, I would be open-minded to it. Like, let's say like Newfound Glory co-headlining with like some other band, and they're like, you know, you guys want to play the show, would you do it? And like, you guys sell some pre-sales, like, I will go out there and do it, you know, just to play because that's a good show opportunity, and I would totally do it.
Show opportunity.
But at the same time, like, I wouldn't do it like just because like that's like the only option. Like, you know, I'm really open-minded. So, like, I would do anything. So.
I know in the early 2000s, like when I had a few friends that were in bands, they would, a lot of people would buy on to like tours or things just to kind of get their name out. So they'd, you know, there'd be a headlining band and there'd be like two underneath, and, you know, the third one would be like the one that kind of bought on to it just so they could get their name out there. So I don't know if it started then. I'm sure it didn't completely start then. I'm sure it was probably even before then, but like I can kind of see a little bit where it can come from, but at the same time, it's like, being like organically getting, you know, fans and whatnot is far better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we talked about social media a little bit earlier. Who kind of takes care of all the managerial aspects of everything?
it's
Pretty
all
much.
Nathan.
I guess
pretty much.
us two, like,
And-
it's
and
all
the
consensual.
twins.
Like, we all talk about it, you know, like I'll talk to everyone in the band about like what we'll post, when, stuff like that. But in terms of like who actually posts and stuff like that, I guess it's more organized if one person handles it, like kind of like a representative. So Newton and I kind of handles the social media, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys split anything up?
Well, you see, can you hear me? Pretty much Nathan does all the business stuff, and I got an iPhone 8 better than his iPhone 6s, so I'll post on social media because I have better phone quality. So it's like, you want to do it, Nathan? Yeah, but you have an iPhone 8, it's better quality. Alright.
That's how it's based, huh?
I'll post it because I have a better phone.
Yeah.
So he handles the business.
Alright.
You see,
That's the way
it's not
it is.
like that though. See, me, Ivan, Trevor, and Scotty can write songs, so we're like the songwriters of the band. Then he
No,
does
I mean,
business 'cause
Newton-
he plays bass. And bass players don't know how to write songs.
Wow.
Yeah. Not like
Under the gutter,
Wow.
I
yeah.
always make that joke.
They're
yeah.
disposable. You can just-
Wow.
Yeah, so basically this is how it goes. All right, and bass players can't play instruments. You know, this is probably the
Guitar
worst.
players think they write the best shit, but they're not that great.
The guitar players think they're the best when they're not that great. The singer, it's like you know, what did Kyle say?
So Kyle from DME has the best description of each instrument guy in a band. I don't remember the term. We were recording his basement one time.
All right, I'll just summarize it. Bass players are the worst musicians. Guitar players, they do all that. Singers,
That's why he's a businessman. He does it.
singers whine about everything, right? And then drummers, what?
I don't know, dude. They just smash shit.
I'm just the cool guy in the background, look like a gorilla banging on the drums. I guess.
Sometimes,
Newton
sometimes
posts
it's
on his
true.
own.
Like
I'll
you know,
wake up and get 100 notifications from Newton, and it's probably him tagging me and everything. So he posts on his own. Now we all do it.
It's mainly Nathan.
Mainly me, Newton too.
Video right now.
what social media do you guys use the most?
Huh?
What social media do you guys use the most?
Instagram, for sure, number one.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Facebook,
for sure.
Twitter, Snapchat, underrated one.
Okay, so like we try to do everything. Like obviously, I think Instagram posts like on the feed, that's the most popular, and then you have to go to story, that's more popular now, and then on Snapchat you would do it on your personal Snapchat. Like people make band Snapchats, but like come on, is
No
that
one
full?
checks the band
Like
Snapchat.
really? Like
Like
so
nothing plans to Snapchat.
like just on your everyone in the band on your personal, post on your Snap, send it to all your friends. Facebook clearly, and then. Here's the thing. A lot of bands don't have Twitter, like local bands or small upcoming bands, and I'm like, where's your Twitter? Like you gotta have everything. Like you don't get a big following on Twitter just because it's like, you know, not the hype.
You want to
but-
hear a funny thing?
You gotta do it!
I think we have Tumblr.
Do we have Tumblr?
Did you make one?
Does that still
I-
work?
I have a
Does that exist
I
still?
have a personal Tumblr.
How do we even have a Tumblr as a
I-
band
we-
in the
we don't-
first
no
place?
idea.
I
I
don't
didn't
even
know
know what a
about that.
Tumblr is.
We don't have a band Tumblr, but I made my personal Tumblr and I post about the band on there.
okay.
Isn't it just
There you go.
pictures, basically?
It's
And like
No,
gifs?
I didn't post on Instagram too.
Yeah, I do some social media stuff too.
But the
sometimes.
thing is, we're not on social media. Yeah, we go to hella shows and promote in person, and that's the most classic way because you get to meet people.
That's the best.
Network.
Yeah, it really comes down to like
Oh,
networking. You know,
Yeah.
and you don't politicize it, right? I don't know.
We're just having fun. That's what we like to do.
Yeah, just go out, play shows, meet people at shows, spread our music.
So do you have any kind of like strategy for like posting on social media? Like you guys try to do everything. Do you guys have any meetings to talk about this at all or no?
So we try to post every day, right? But I think the
Nick from our board told us to post every day, so we listen to him. He's daddy.
No, okay, so before we worked with Nick, like we would post all the time too. It's just like not as much, but I guess he really made it apparent. I'll be real, like Nick's probably never gonna watch this, but if he does, you know, like here you go. In the studio, like we kind of came in there and we're like, you know what? Let's keep it a surprise. Like let's not post about it. Let's wait for a big surprise. So we kind of went in there without posting anything, and then after like 3-4 days, they're like, you guys didn't post anything, and like. I started feeling like, oh man, I did something bad. But I guess it was just like a different perspective, you know? And he's like, you're such a small band, it doesn't matter about surprises. You know, you just gotta post as much as you can. And I'm like, all right, that makes sense. But no, like, I feel like the strategy comes in whenever you have like a legit announcement, like a show announcement or like a show or a tour announcement or music video release.
For what day too?
What day, like, you know? So that's kind of like the strategy, like figuring out what days, you know, people would engage more, like
Kind of tease people a little bit.
tease people a little bit. But yeah, like we'll talk about it as a band, and then the main post goes up, and that's all cleaned up. So
Cool.
does that answer your question?
Yeah. Speaking of it, don't you guys have like I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head. Is either a music video or a CD or not a CD, an album coming out soon, right?
We have the EP coming out.
We
EP.
actually released a music video last week, a single. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, all that stuff, and a new music video for it. The new EP comes out on December 14th. You know, we got new CDs coming, T-shirts, stickers, all that stuff. It's gonna be on like everything you can name of.
I was gonna ask what you guys sell for merch. I know that nowadays I've seen a ton of new bands do cassettes and CDs. You said you have CDs? You do cassettes too?
We plan to in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
okay, so
Sets are very, very expensive right now.
You know, people my age, you know, we're used to CDs and even a little bit older, but like, you know, people still want them because I feel like that's like a tangible thing. Like I want something from this band because everything's up in the cloud and that's how we listen to it now. But like I still want something, you know?
Yeah.
I'm totally on the side of physical media. I love
So,
everything physical. I don't like
to
having
answer
digital
that,
stuff,
like
personally.
on how or we run the band, we try to take influence from everywhere. And so like, you know, when I looked into merch, like what should we order? I would look onto like, you know, like Pure Noise Records merch websites and like, you know, other bands and see like what are they selling. And most bands, obviously you sell shirts because shirts are the most profitable and like you can sell the most. So you for sure need shirts and if anything, maybe multiple designs. And then like, even though CDs are becoming a little bit more outdated, I feel like as a local band, you can sell CDs easily because people want to support the band and also like they like something like kind of physical. I mean, it sounds kind of like contradicting, but it works. Like, you know, like we've sold like shirts like quick and easy, and like people have challenged me about like CDs that they want, and I just tell them like we'll have them. So
Yeah, we have someone from Germany that wants the shirt, I think.
yeah,
No, he wants like he's super cool guy.
Yeah, we got shirts, we got stickers, we call them stickies.
we call them stickies.
We got
stickies
What else we
at
got?
every show.
Oh,
pins.
okay, so
No?
right now we just got CDs, shirts, and stickers. But honestly, for a local band, I feel like that's all you need. We have like multiple shirt designs, and then, but I'm always thinking about like new ideas, like what's unique that people will buy, or if people even want. You know what I mean? But yeah,
I was gonna say, whoever's watching it right now, watch the last episode too, because they talk about a few things that are a little different, a little odd. That they sell that are actually pretty big. But do you guys? Who does the graphic design? Does one of you guys in the band do the graphic design for things? No.
there's a guy. All right.
So we decided that we were gonna go hire somebody, and somebody that we felt that kind of had the same vision that we wanted to go for, and the same like.
Victory
Style.
Falsey.
Victory Fozzy.
You've done everything.
Never glad box.
What?
Alright, there's this dude, I think he's from China. I think he's from Asia. I don't know. I emailed him. I don't know if it's him.
He's
I
in
don't know
Asia.
for sure.
I think
I know the name is Dickory Falsey, and his Instagram is @nevergladart. We tag him on everything.
Yeah.
So if you go on our social media @Goldview CA, we tag him in everything. Great artist. He designed stuff for like Real Friends, like the current Real Friends tour. He designed the hoodie.
Oh,
Really nice guy, like really engaging.
Yeah.
We still don't know how he looks like, but we know his name is Dickory.
Super professional, responds super fast, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
like
super good.
super interactive, super nice, like really good deals. Like I don't want to get into the specifics because it's different for every project, but you know, you get a good deal, you get what you want, he meets your demands, and yeah.
That's
And
cool.
we did everything
That's cool.
with him, so everything that we release with all the merch that we have coming out, it's all done by him.
Yeah, we like at the beginning we kind of like wanted to do it ourselves, you know, but we also want this to be as professional as we can do it, you know, like we don't want just like me putting a picture on Photoshop and adding a little text, that, you know, like that's whatever.
Yeah, I mean like
We want it to be legit, like as if it was,
You
you know,
take it
a label
seriously.
project, you know.
yeah, like back to like the concept about like when you're talking about like who does the manager stuff. I don't know, like I feel like it's a little bit collaborative. Like Ivan, it's he's a really big guy on like aesthetic, like photography, artwork, stuff like that. He really pushes for that, and so he brings it up. Like I'm sure we could have came up with some very beautiful artwork, very professional and simple, without paying someone. But you know, sometimes if someone else can design it, you can get something that's way better. And Ivan pushes for that kind of stuff. So yeah, like I got give him to that. So
Yeah, stuff like packaging and stuff, you know, making things as nice as we can, you know, as professional as it is. As it can
yeah.
be, pretty
that's
much, yeah.
a smart move, to be honest. Like I think Perfect Score had talked about how they had gotten someone to design, and that was one of the most important things, was designing the T-shirts so that people liked what they looked like. That's a smart idea. Like you guys, especially hiring someone that you knew already does great stuff. Like one of the things you're willing to put money into is something like, hey, it's going to look good so people want to wear it. Because like you said, there's a billion bands that, you know, well, they're pretty decent at graphic design and whatnot, but they might not make it, you know, look amazing like what this guy can do, you know?
I feel like that's what separates, you know, like the average local band from like the band that's really trying to push it to be the next level, that wants to, you know, be the biggest band and wants to go out and tour the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we want to make sure that we get the best quality that we can do. You know?
Yeah, really,
We can-
really push for
Fun fact.
best quality that we can.
Fun fact time.
Go ahead.
Newton, you want to tell them what video was recorded in this room?
Yeah. Posy.
So our first music video, Positivity, we
Yeah.
recorded it in this room.
Yeah.
This is
and
what's
very
next to
different.
us, too.
You want to see how it looks on the other?
Nah, I don't want
No,
to adjust the camera.
it's fine.
There's a Christmas tree behind you.
There's a Christmas tree right there. You can't see it. Right there. We like Christmas. We like Santa.
My wife's putting the Christmas tree. My wife's putting up the Christmas tree right now.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
My mom's
And I'm out here
putting
being a
up
bum.
Christmas tree and decorations.
Don't get over my laptop, man.
This,
Do not.
This-
She loves
This-
gingerbread.
this here is a gingerbread house. Village.
Mini North Pole.
That's quality.
It's a north.
So I
Don't
have,
get over my
I'm
laptop,
not.
dude. You're gonna
So
spill crumbs.
Goldview here has personality. Shake it up, dude. We bought this at Target. This is a gingerbread man with a bloody nose. That's blood.
Did you guys do that as a band?
What'd you say?
Did you guys put together the gingerbread house as a band?
They did. We didn't.
Oh no, we didn't build it as a band. Maybe we will
We
though.
should. That'd
Maybe
be
we
fun.
will.
My nieces and nephew built it.
You should totally do crap like that on YouTube.
That's what I was. Well, yeah.
Honestly, do a live
Dude,
stream
honestly,
or
that would be sick.
YouTube video of us.
it's another one of those points where like, okay, I'm gonna connect with like the people that I that watch or that want to know more about the band, know more about how we react, how funny like we are together. Like a couple times ago, a couple of podcasts ago, my friends RKVC, Rod and Vince, like they're musicians and they do music, but like they do way more YouTube for the music, and so they actually make money. They don't do any side jobs, which we'll talk about here in a minute. They don't do any like main jobs. They just do YouTube and their music, and so they sell it that way. And they're able to pay their bills right now. So it's like it's kind of cool. Like you guys need to get on the YouTube thing and just do crap like that. Like last night, for some reason, I was watching like a Linus Tech Tips live stream of them just building a PC. I'm like, why am I watching this? It's entertaining.
I've done that before.
I think that it comes down to like keeping consistent content for people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
consistency.
important. You know, that's why we try to post every day. That's why
Yeah.
we have people we try to interact with people and have people interact with us. You know.
Yeah,
you
like,
guys
I feel
have-
like, we should totally like get. I'm gonna be honest. Like our YouTube has like all of our music videos, stuff like that. But we've been talking actually in the past couple weeks about making more updates on there, like covers, just the band hanging out updates, and then just kind of treating YouTube like Instagram, like consistent updates. So we'll definitely do that for sure. And I think the gingerbread house is gonna be fun. That's a good idea. Good idea for sure.
Great.
There's a lot of small things, updates, where more points of contact, as long as they're not boring. Like, and once you get to the point where like, oh, we're just doing, well, it's just boring. Like, what if you're having fun and you're enjoying it? Like, people will love to watch that crap. My kids have like a YouTube channel, and like people just like watching them walk around like WonderCon or Comic-Con or wherever it was. So it's like, all right, cool. Like they'll just watch this happen because they're entertained by what they're talking about or what they're doing. But yeah, it's great. Like speaking about jobs, what are you guys' day jobs?
Okay.
I sell phones.
Okay, hold up. It's funny you asked that, and then I laugh right away. It's just because I always want to answer this question.
Alright, we're gonna start with Scotty. On drums.
Yeah, I am a commercial driver.
He's
for
a trucker. He's a trucker.
For
He's a trucker.
for Old Dominion Freight Line.
None of the bullshit.
I've been
Fuck.
doing
He
it for
drives
a
the
little while.
semis, big, double
Hey.
connected semi. Ain't
It's
no joke.
You know, it's cool. It's cool. But it gets crazy. Working like 10, 12-hour days. Like
Driving
it's-
that big
it's
ass
nuts.
truck.
But yes, that is
In
what
short, he's a truck driver.
He's a trucker, dude.
I do. Yep. Big time trucker.
Yep.
Come on, Trevin.
But I'd rather be playing
What?
drums
Oh.
every day.
Let's
of
go,
my life.
Travis.
I work
Trevor.
for a cell phone kiosk or cell phones, and right now I'm actually managing the kiosk. So it's a little bit more than I've ever done before. But I work for a cell phone
He's
kiosk.
a phone salesman.
I'm a phone
Phone
salesman.
sales. What do we got over here?
Ivan.
I'm a freelancer. I do a lot of freelance work. I'm a freelance recording engineer, freelance photography, and then I also do a lot of production work, like live sound and stuff like that. Another company that I work for. Yeah, that's what I do.
I thought you sold flowers, no?
What?
Self-found by the cemetery.
By the cemetery.
All right. I'm a security guard.
They both
Are you mall
They're
cop?
both
We're
security
security
guards.
guards.
Believe it or not.
We are. We're security guards.
I'm actually currently a supervisor security guard at my site. I'm not joking. You know,
No,
no,
this
no one will believe it.
This is funny.
I'm
See,
not joking.
see, me and Nathan, we're like the other guys in band. We're like, we hate school, but we still go to school. We go to San Jose State University, like straight up full-time student, like San Jose State.
Oh, they're
stud-
super smart.
We study. No. Guess our major. Guess his major. All right, guess my major at San Jose State University.
Mine's the same. Guess it.
Guess it. Guess my major.
Journalism.
Nope, not even close.
Second guess.
Second guess.
I don't know.
All right. Well, we're justice studies major, so like
Criminology.
not criminal. It's justice. So anything within the court realm. We were political science, like Roger from American Dad, but we switched to justice studies because I want to be a lawyer. I'm just kidding. No.
Okay. On short, we do security because it's super chill. You know, if you want a chill, easy job and not do anything and stress out like Trevor, get security. However, today some guy did a no call no show, so I had to find a cover. It's all good. We go to school. We hate college. We hate school.
We're in it.
We're in it.
I don't know why. I'm weak. I can't quit. I'm weak.
Yeah. No, but in spite of that, like, even though we have school and stuff, like, we try to do the band number one. Like, you know, we're trying to, like, it doesn't interfere with the band. Like, I will ditch school to go on tour and stuff like that when I have to, you know? We've never been on tour, but, like, we've played shows and all that. Like, band's number one, and, like, every year since we started, it's just become more developed. So, yeah.
Security.
How difficult? I was going to ask.
Most
Of those jobs don't seem like they're that difficult to get off for like shows and whatnot, with exception of
trucker.
How hard is it to deal with shows?
How hard is it to deal with shows?
Well, the thing with my company is like, as long as I get the time off, and you know what I mean, like a couple weeks in advance. That's why, like, I always tell them, I'm always like, yeah, as long as you guys let me know beforehand, you know, it won't be a problem. More than likely, you know. I mean, there's days sometimes, you know, if I have to call in sick or something and for an important show, then I'll do it. You know, like it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean
If he
like-
quits, there's a contract holding him.
Yeah, I'm under a contract right now for a year until April, which I can't wait to get out of. Hopefully,
Is it legal to tell them how much you got paid if you quit? Is that legal or no? Can we talk about that or no?
Oh, yeah, I can say it right now. If I were to quit my job right now, I would owe them $3,500.
Criminals, man.
Yeah, criminals.
You know what I tell them?
That's what we're saying.
But it's
Justice studies, so I
because,
can
it's because they helped
prosecute
me.
those dumb
It's
fucks.
because they helped me get my Class A. So
You know,
it's like a win-win. You know,
I'm very
but not really.
Is it local? Do you do a lot of local stuff, or do you go like local?
Yeah, local pickup and delivery. But it's just long hours.
You know what I told him?
Yeah.
I told him to listen to Early Retirement by Handguns.
We're
Quit your
We're
job!
homies with Jake
That's a good song.
Langley from Handguns.
Yeah.
Listen
guys are
to
hungry.
Early Retirement and realize that work doesn't make you happy.
No. Any 9 to 5 or
You know what? You want to hear something? I'm so dumb. Like, what's your name?
Joshua!
It's
Joshua.
literally right there.
This is Joshua right there. Joshua.
Can we just call you Josh? Is that
Josh
okay?
is fine.
That's about it.
Okay. All right, Josh.
I like Joshua. It's a good name.
I mean, what do your friends call you? Do they call you Josh?
They call me.
They call me whatever.
Hey, idiot. That's cool.
So Joshua, it's funny. You want to hear something funny?
Sure.
So we went to record in New Jersey, and like me and Nathan put up this like, it seems like we're jokesters and we're not serious, and like this, like Nick from Man on Board, like Ace from Early November, like just cracked the hell up in the studio, like just even though like we work hella hard in music and like try to push it, like we're the businessmen of the band, like nobody buys it because that's not the way we present ourselves.
You probably don't buy it.
But it's like, no, he probably did because like we were all seriously the first. But like, this is how we are. Like we just are social and casual. But like,
Ever hear of a saying, don't judge a book by its cover?
like we can do hella serious stuff. Like, but this is how we are, like personality wise. Anyway, so it's like we all hang out in the studio, and it got to the point where like I guess Nick and Ace and Dom, who was a lumberyard too, they were like kind of interested. Like, what do you guys do for work? Like, what do you guys do? And we're
Security?
We're
And they're like,
we're-
no
we're
way!
like, security, and Nick was like, security. That's what they do.
Security.
That's what they do. Security guard.
Dude, it's funny. At my site, there's 3 guards. And like, I'm like the top guy. So if anything happens, like emergency, fire drill, all that, they have to report to me. And I'm like, damn, like, really? I'm that guy? But that's
I'm
just
important.
He used to have a chill site. he would play bass at work. Like,
Yeah,
bring
yo,
the-
These guys,
These guys,
don't care
they-
about their job.
You know what
at
they do
all.
at their work?
Don't
They
say
just-
it. Don't. My manager won't be happy.
Is he gonna watch the
They post
podcast?
stuff.
They Snapchat
he
their
brings
job.
his amp.
You'll probably never watch
He
this.
he brought his amp and bass to work and just jammed at work.
Yeah, I brought my
bass
little
at work.
practice amp and I played super loud at work because music's number one.
No one's there at work on
You
the
got-
weekend, so security guard play bass at work.
They're the depiction of the security guard that you see in those Christmas movies that are watching security cameras and they're just asleep.
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
time.
the Friday movies. You know, Day Day.
Yeah.
It's like I'll be chilling. If somebody coming, hey, like. All right, so me and Newton, we skate. Enjoy skateboarding. All right, at our site. When people come on, like last time there was someone walking their dog, and I'm like, yeah, get out of here. I'll kick you out. Can't be here. I'll kick them out. But like on our time off, we'll go skate in like computer companies. Like we'll trespass, we'll skate. It's kind of funny.
Are you guys do the videos like that? Like trespassing. Watch me do this GoPro video. I'll go in this guy's pool.
I'm kind of like lazy, but like a douchebag at the same time. I used to guard at Kaiser, and like I'm super lazy. Like I wouldn't even get out of my seat. I'll just sit there all shift. And I'm out there. I'm a skateboarder, so I look out the window. I see these guys that come every single weekend, and they roller skate. And they roller skate around the parking lot. It looks super like lame. Like look, I'm like, huh? Should I go out there and kick them out? And be like, security, get out here! What are you doing? Can't roller skate here. But I was just like, I'm lazy, pass. Just stop it, dude.
Okay, is it actually roller skating or is it
Or is
rollerblading?
it rollerblading?
I don't know.
Roller skating, right?
Because like roller skating would be
rollerblading.
weird to me. I don't know why.
Is it
Roller-
inline
Wait,
or
is it,
fly?
is it inline or the
They didn't
floor
set up
wheel
an ice
thing?
rink, did they?
They wore neon.
In the parking
They
lot.
wore neon. It's like, all right. First off, if we use any kind of profanity and you gotta bleep it out, go ahead and do that. We're not using too much bad words. You watch Malcolm in the Middle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a long time ago,
The
yeah.
episode where,
Great show.
do you remember the episode where Hal was like roller skating?
No.
Right? Was that it?
I have to look it.
Was he roller skating?
I don't know.
I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, that's really funny, and he's describing it like neon. These neon people roller skating through the parking lot. It probably looked like that.
Like headbands.
Yeah.
Like
80s skating.
On second, fun fact, I almost named this band Malcolm in the Middle.
I think you
I
might have
would've
had a
been-
little bit of trouble trying to
I was against that.
secure that one.
But you know how we got our band name Goldview?
Hmm.
So if you want to stalk us, we live on Goldwood Court in San Jose. So we took.
did you say
So
that?
so we're not basic. Like we're not like, oh, you want to start a band, put gold in it. No, like I actually live on Goldwood Court, and
We were actually thinking of having it Goldwood.
yeah. So
But-
it's like Goldwood.
Goldwood.
I think Goldwood's already a name. So we took gold out of Goldwood Court. So I was like, I'll take the first word out of my street name, combine it with the city near us. That sounds cool. Mountain View. So we minus mountains, combine Goldview. And I was just like, all right.
And I took the idea of it's where basically, because all of our songs are talking about, I mean, most of it's all positive. Everything's up.
No, that's not how we got their name.
But that's what when people ask me, when people
we
ask
got our
me
name
what is
because
our
I
name
live on
about,
Goldwood Court.
when people
Next
ask me what our
question.
name is about, I say it's because it's.
I made it up in the studio, and then they're just making up.
Pretty much.
I say it's
They're
basically.
making up.
I was in the background.
Reasons.
He said Goldview, and I was like, that sounds good. And then
Okay.
we went from there.
I thought it might be. I thought it might be something
I
like.
say that your name is a combination of two things.
Can I? Sorry, we're talking too loud. Everyone that's watching this video is probably like, dude, these guys are super annoying. Anyway,
I don't care,
Trevor, question. You said that we're called Goldview because I want to hear your
We're
reason.
called Goldview because this is just what I say. We're called Goldview because it's basically Goldview is the idea of basically looking at the world in with gold-colored lenses.
That's your answer?
everything- Yeah. that's my answer.
Hold up.
Wrong.
Okay, take it back to April of 2018. Right now it's December of 2018. If you don't know.
He wasn't even awake when we came
Yeah,
up with
I
Goldview.
wasn't.
No, Trevor. Was,
I wasn't,
hold up.
wasn't.
Trevor was asleep. We were up at probably
but I woke up for it.
2 in the morning, and we were like, "Hey, wake Trevor up! Hey, Trevor, you want to be called Goldview? All right, there you go."
So his reason's not validated.
See, but I need a reason. If people just ask me, it's like, oh, we just combined their address with Mountain View and made Goldview.
That's the reason.
I want
though.
a reason.
That is not the reason.
That is the
I
reason.
want
If it was a bad name, you'd throw a fit over it. Like I was in a band in the '90s that like the lead singer would like change the name every freaking week, and then like I found out once because he changed.
I know that guy.
Website. I'm like, what the heck? I don't want that name. That name's lame. No, but if it was lame, you'd be like, no. But it's not a bad name. I thought Goldview was something like almost like a throwback to like Newfound Glory with the whole Pony Boy Outsiders thing. Pony Boy.
Oh, nothing good can stay.
Yeah, nothing goes can stay. Nothing goes can stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's from the Outsiders.
It is, yeah.
Long story short, we actually started we came up with this name when we were in New Jersey at the Lumberyard recording.
Yeah, we were in the studio when we rebranded ourselves.
So if you want to say we started in New Jersey, go ahead. But
Have we already said what we were
we're
originally
basically
called?
an East Coast band.
Yeah, so originally we were called. The band was called
Reach for Earth.
Reach for Neptune.
It doesn't matter. That name's dead. It's Goldview now. One word. Reach for Pluto. Next
There was
question.
Reach for Uranus. That was the one that we were
Next
calling.
question. All right. Let's get back on track. Let's get back to music.
Back to questions.
Let's get back on track.
How about significant others? Do you guys have significant others, and how do you deal?
Just,
What's the question?
just him.
Significant others, girlfriends, whatever.
Like a lover?
How do they deal with the band stuff? Are they supportive or even family members even?
Scotty's the only one with a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
I think
I'm the only one with a
you-
I have friends.
His
Yes.
girlfriend's super cool.
Yes.
She's
Yes,
super
contacts.
supportive of our
Yes,
band. And she's been our merch girl a bunch of times too.
Let Scotty answer, Trevor.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't have a voice, and yeah, I have a girlfriend of like almost 4 years now, and yeah, she's really supportive of me and everyone else here, so
That's good.
it helps out. It's cool, man. It's cool. Really.
Very right. She's like, she always does her merch. In terms of me and Nathan,
Yeah.
no girls.
That's always great.
Gay.
Always great to have a merch table, girl.
Table girl.
Yep.
No luck, man.
I find like one or the other. I find like, oh, we currently have girlfriends and they're great and they help out, or oh, we just got a bad relationship and they're horrible. they hated every moment when I was at the show. I find it's either one or the other one. It's hilarious.
No, you know what's funny is like being in a band is like having another relationship.
Yeah,
Seriously,
yeah.
it's like having another girlfriend.
I'm so happy you said that. See,
It's
true.
Ivan's my
agree.
boyfriend. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
You know,
wow, okay. We're
I-
family.
I have to deal with double the
He
evil.
just touched me.
Double the evil.
What?
And, I'm just playing.
Wow.
Like Nathan's looking at me like, you fucking serious, dude.
No, I'm kind of like it's fun right now. We're all laughing. Believe it or not, like we get serious. It's usually me and Newton being very tough. Like we literally had a band group chat. We're really honest with each other. We had a group chat earlier today. Got a little serious. I think maybe not. I don't know. We'll resolve it.
Lay
We talk about it.
Lay
No.
whatever
Butt
on the
little
line.
heads? Butt heads a little bit?
But the thing
Whatever
about
you're thinking, lay it on the line.
as newfound
Bam.
boys is we have band therapy. The thing about the girls though, I think Scotty's the only one who has a legit girlfriend, right?
Legit.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as I know.
They're in love. They're in love.
She's gonna watch this and she's gonna be like,
Heavy love.
Yeah.
I love you, by the way.
How was the recording process? You probably the stuff before this last bit was probably recorded by yourselves, right? Like you guys recording yourselves.
Like
Yourselves.
the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you know how I said we we're called Reach for Neptune. So Nick found
Yeah.
that EP online. Wait. If you really want to get specific, before we went to the Lumberyard to record with Nick, Ivan here does audio engineering shit. So like he kind of demoed all our shit for us.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah,
He
smart.
wasn't even
It's
in the
good to
band
have
at the
that.
time, I think he just did it.
I'm not
It was
sure.
like trial and error.
You
Like
don't have those
honestly,
demos anymore.
he was
do
never.
I deleted
You
it.
deleted
Because like no more of this garbage.
Screams.
Okay,
I
that's.
used to scream.
You're probably like, wait, what? What? I can't hear you. All right. Before Goldview, the Reach for Neptune EP, we recorded with like another local like musician. Our friend Connor, he plays drums in a band called Mugshot. So like we recorded with him and put it out, super rad. Nick found the EP and then he's like, "Yo, let's go make a record." So that's how he found us. It was all DIY.
Download for us. We go to Nick record. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was on like Bandcamp, YouTube, stuff like that. That's probably how he found it. We just shared it all over Facebook.
and then and then after that, with Goldview starting, I guess now we could talk about like the whole music journey, how the approach, right? So we would demo with Ivan, kind of like trial and error. Like, should we do this? Let's just demo that. Oh no, scrap that. Let's do a new idea. And just kind of writing and demoing it with Ivan. He was never really in the band. We're just kind of like,
I was never really part of like the writing process, but more of just like, all right, I'm gonna be playing whatever you guys come up.
You
come
weren't
up
really
with.
into the music we were playing at the time because it was more like easy.
The stuff was more like easy chord type of stuff, more like neon stuff.
Neon pop.
So like, I guess he demoed it and like he wasn't in the band, but we're like, let's try it out if you like it. And he's like, yeah, I'll go to Jersey, help you guys out. We're like, it's good enough for us. Like,
it was super cool that you did.
And then we went to Jersey and we're like, you're basically in the band now. You want to join officially? All right, here's all the social media information.
Yeah,
I guess that's
a little bit more than that.
I guess that's how it is these days. I'm kind of joking, but like, yo, so how do you know if you're in a band? If you have the passwords,
If you have
to the social media.
I don't remember the original question. I'm just stuck on like the thing about girls.
I was actually going to try to get to like how you guys' recording process was, but it's good to know that there's somebody in the band that can actually demo stuff out, because I'm a producer and a mixer. So like when I go in, I'm like, all right, let's get some quick cuts, like whether it's live or what it is on like just a digital recorder or whatever it is of what you guys have now. Like throw it down, see if we can arrange it in the way that's going to make sense, because. I've recorded hundreds of bands and artists, and I'm like, if they don't come in knowing at least an idea of how things are, you're going to get lost, and you're going to come out with something you might not like, because you're going to have to commit to stuff early on. So it's good to have someone that you guys are going to demo like beforehand and be like, no, that's horrible. I'm not going to do that. Because at the end of song, like you might spend a crap ton of time. By the time you get to the end of it and you're doing it professionally and in a decent studio, like, you're going to be like, oh, I don't like that song anymore, and I used to, or could have, it had potential at some point in time.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, like before we even went to Jersey, like I was always talking to Nick like every week. So we recorded demos with Ivan, like, like got some drums, like programmed drums, I think, like guitars and bass and some vocals. And I'll email that over to Nick just so he can like work with it. And also like just me and Newton alone, like we do like just guitar, bass demos, like simple stuff, like of those songs, just like to get a different vibe to, and we'll send those. Because like Nick was pretty chill. He's like, anything you have, like even like lame phone demos, stuff like that. So we had like about 6 songs going in, 5 or 6, something like that. And when we went in, so when we started over there, it was just kind of like breaking them down, figuring out like what we want to keep, restructuring the songs, like taking certain notes and then changing the strumming of it, or like taking certain parts of the songs and rearranging it, adding new parts, changing vocals to fit with that key.
Cutting all breakdowns from the music.
Yeah, no more breakdowns, no more screams.
Like, okay, so spoiler alert. Newton and I want to play in stadiums one day, and I'm sure they do too, right? You guys want to play stadiums? I don't know.
It'd be cool to sell out stadiums.
Why not, right?
Every
Like,
band kind of has a dream.
like we want to like.
Here's a quote.
Stadium rock.
Here's a quote. So like, I love Tom DeLonge, and like I've always loved Tom DeLonge. You know Tom DeLonge.
Yes,
Blink-182.
Yes. Angels and Airwaves, yes.
I don't have a shrine, but I have Enema of the State signed by Tom DeLonge. I met Tom DeLonge.
I have Enema of the State signed by Tom DeLonge on vinyl. Like he
See,
signed my
like-
record.
What I always wanted to be in a band when I was in high school. Always tried, always failed. Surprised I'm still in like this band. But I met Tom DeLonge when I first started this band 3 years ago, and like this band was like, God, we fell apart so many times. See, we're not even signed, but like we're like at the start. But anyway, when I met Tom, it's just like that iconic moment, because I don't know, it's just you meet your idol and like he hella motivates you, and he was hella cool. And then like a week after, like we met Tom DeLonge, I think they came out with that Ernie Ball documentary.
Yeah.
And
You seen it?
Yeah,
I've always seen interviews with Tom. Pretty much, he said in that video, like, if space is infinite, then like infinite the opportunities that can happen. So I mean, like, if we're on this Earth and like there's outer space out there that's like infinite, it goes on and on and on. Nobody knows how big the world is. Then our opportunities is just as much. And I just met Tom DeLonge, so I'm just like, the connection was so real. So I was just like, fuck it, dude. I'm going for stadium. Like, that's why, like, when we went to New Jersey, Nick was like, what kind of sound you want to go for? So all right, we do step by step. So we just cut all breakdowns. It's not selling out. We love hardcore. He loves metal, heavy music, but it's just like, we want to write like more intricate while we're in stuff.
Yeah, like for me, like honestly, like my favorite album is 1989 by Taylor Swift, and it's only 4 years old, but time flies, And and that's a pop album.
Yeah.
It's like synth pop, like influenced on like 80s pop. My bad, 80s pop, 80s rock, stuff like that. And like that's like a sound that I love. And like I don't know, like obviously we want to bring in influences from everywhere, you know. And like that's like the goal, like end goal before I die, you know. Like we want to play like stadiums, stuff like that. And so with that being said, like the sound has to like fit that. And it's not like selling out.
Yeah.
Like we love pop music and like music that can be played in those kind of areas. So like, you know, easycore, like I love easycore. Like don't get me wrong, like people.
Like, I'm repping a newfound glory. Pop
Yeah,
punk stuff.
like
pop punk.
people can cringe all day, but I'll always like love easycore because it's fun. Like I have the most fun at easycore shows, throwing down, having fun, pop punk, just having a good time. But in terms of like what kind of music we make, like I don't want to limit myself to that. I just want to like grow,
Yeah.
you know.
That's one thing that came up in the studio was like when we were recording this, like I was really not. I didn't like the idea of labeling ourselves as like a pop punk band. You know what I mean? I don't like kind of constricting ourselves to stuff like that.
Just to close that out, because it just shut off. Basically, we want to make our band as big and diverse as possible, and we're not closed off on anything. We're not scared, and we're just trying to expand and blow up, and you know we're not afraid to like open up our minds. You know what I mean?
Thanks for coming on. It's been great. Go ahead and drop whatever you want to drop real quick about the upcoming EP and everything else. When we can see you next, go ahead.
We got 3 singles out. We got EP coming out December 14th called Until Morning Comes, and this EP release show is on the 15th of December.
In Cupertino.
All info at Goldview, California. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it.
Yep.
At Goldview
just-
CA.
Yeah, we also just dropped a new music video last week called Scenic Route.
Scenic route.
That's a fun music video.
And
Yes.
all our music will be on all.
Apple Music, Spotify,
Streamed everywhere.
Twitter.
Wherever
Oh,
you can
no.
find, wherever you look on your
Find
phone.
my mixtape on SoundCloud.
Bandcamp,
Everything.
physical CDs, everything.
Everything.
Napster. Yeah.
LimeWire. Look out for it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, the way that the Skype thing works, it kind of cuts the video down the middle a little bit. So guys, squeeze in a little bit and just say goodbye.
We will send you the song. Goldview, California. Find us on all social medias. Goldview. At Goldview CA.
Yeah, West Coast, baby.
Thanks so much, guys. Have you guys a good night. All right.
Good night.
Thank you.
Later.
Later.